Welcome to UPSC Med Simple. We'll continue with the second part of first approach, that is broader inclusive approach versus parts option. So here remaining questions of 2018 question paper. We'll start with the question number 2 of 2018 question paper. Question is from geography and environment part. Which of the following leaf modifications occurs in desert areas to inhibit water loss? Mostly it is very easy question, all of will be able to solve it, right? First, hard and waxy leaves, like few can get confused. Tiny leaves, true. Thorns instead of leaves, true. Then we are left with 1, 2, 3 or 2 and 3. So here if you are in doubt for this hard and waxy leaves, you should go for inclusive approach, right? But it is a very easy question, not to discuss much. We'll move on to the next question. Which of the following statements correctly describes the meaning of legal tender money? First, the money which is tendered in courts of law to defray the fee of legal cases. It is called as decorative statement. Decorative statement will have one separate video for this approach of decorative statement. Till now, just imagine it looks true, but it is not. Right? It is not a legal tender money. Like they are talking about the money which is tendered in the courts of law to defray the fee of legal cases. It is not called legal tender money. Then the money which is creditor, which a creditor is under compulsion to accept in settlement of his claims. Makes sense. Then third, the bank money in the form of checks, drafts, bill of exchanges, and if you know it, like it cannot be an legal tender money. Then metallic money in circulation in a country. Now see this option 4 and see the option number second. 4 is a part option. If there are so many types of legal tender money, so one of them will be metallic, other can be paper, right? So out of that broad level, you will see D option is talking about only one part, that is metallic money. That's why this is not the correct answer. Otherwise, metallic money is also part of legal tender money. And come to the second option, money which creditor is under the compulsion to accept in the settlement of his claims. So they are talking about in general, broad level, inclusive. In second also they are talking about checks, drafts, bills of exchange. Even if you are not aware that they are not legal tender, still you can apply this part approach here. Because there can be metallic money also, there can be checks and drafts and bills also. If this is the true, then why not this is true, right? So this is also not true, this is also not true, because anyway like checks are not a legal tender money and metallic money it is a part, not an inclusive or broader level. So only option B makes it broader and inclusive approach. That's why answer is B. Next question. Increase in absolute and per capita real GNP do not connote a higher level of economic development if first statement, industrial output fails to keep pace with agriculture output. Second, agriculture output fails to keep pace with industrial output. Then poverty and unemployment increase. And D, imports grow faster than exports. See, first is talking about if economy in general. So it is talking about mainly one part, that is industrial. Second is talking about agriculture. And third is talking about import, export and that respect. Again, it is a kind of part itself. But if you imagine this first, second and fourth option, they are part options. Come to the third option. Sometimes it can look like a part option, but it is a general statement. Why? Because they are talking about poverty and unemployment in general. When it increases, then it may do not connote higher level of economic development as per the real GNP, right? So in general, they are talking about poverty and unemployment. And in the first statement itself, they are talking about industrial versus agriculture, agriculture versus industrial, and third, imports versus exports. Right? Even you can go for one more odd man out approach. We'll have some questions with respect to this. In all these four, if you make an odd man out, it will be option C. Poverty and unemployment increase. All the three options are comparing to. Only third option, which is not comparing, they are directly talking about poverty and unemployment increase. Right? That's why answer is C. Right? It is odd man out. Then we can talk about some general, open-ended general statement. We'll cover that in next videos. Now come to the question number 60. Again, those who have gone through it, very easy for them. Sixth mass extinction. But those who are not aware, they can have this logical approach of broader and inclusive versus parts. First statement is talking about widespread monoculture practices in agriculture and large-scale commercial farming with indiscriminate use of chemicals in many parts of the world and may result in the loss of good native ecosystem. Then second, fears of possible collision of a meteorite with the earth in near future in the manner it happened 65 million years ago that caused mass extinction of many species including those of dinosaurs. Then come to the third, large scale cultivation of genetically modified crops in many parts of the world and promoting their cultivation in other parts of the world which may cause disappearance of good native crops and loss of food biodiversity. First is talking about good native ecosystem. Third is talking about good biodiversity. Second is like nonsense kind of thing, like it is not sixth mass extinction, so it doesn't make any kind of sense. It is called as decorative statement. It looks true, but it is not. Then come to the fourth, man's overexploitation and misuse of natural resources, fragmentation and loss of natural habitats, destruction of ecosystems, then pollution, then global climate change. So if you consider fourth option, so it will have so many parts. Part 1, part 2, like it will cover ecosystem, it will cover global climate change, it will cover pollution, it will cover overexploitation, it will cover fragmentation, right? But in first part they are just talking about native ecosystem, good native ecosystem that is lost. Then third they are talking about food biodiversity, which is already included in destruction of ecosystem. So this fourth option D is more inclusive and more broader. That's why answer for this sixth mass extinction question, right? Move on to the next question. Which one of the following is a very significant aspect of the Champaran Satyagraha? Very significant they are talking about. So when they talk about very significant aspect, there can be other aspects which would not be more significant. Right? First, active all India participation of lawyers, students and women in the national movement. Second, active involvement of Dalit and tribal communities of India in national movement. Third, joining of peasant unrest to the India's national movement. Then D, drastic decrease in the cultivation of plantation crops and commercial crops. Right. So if you see first, it is a part, they are talking about few stakeholders. Then again third, they are talking about, second, they are talking about again few stakeholders, Dalit and tribal, right? So again it is a part. But if you see third statement, it is talking about joining of peasant unrest to India's national movement. So it is more broader and inclusive option. And third again, even it is irrelevant. Still you can think of it. It is talking about plantation crops and commercial crops. So it is talking about only crops. Again, it can be a part option. So answer is C, because it is more broader, more inclusive, and they are talking about very significant aspect of Champaran Satyagraha. Right? Actually, it was a very easy question. Those who are aware about modern history, they will mark it correctly very easily. Next question. In which of the following states is a Pakhui wildlife sanctuary located? That time people were not aware about Pakhui wildlife sanctuary, so it became difficult. So how here you can use broader and inclusive approach. So see, first is Arunachal Pradesh. If you see Arunachal Pradesh, most part of Arunachal Pradesh is very much biodiversity is there. There are so many national parks, there are so many wildlife sanctuaries, right, in Arunachal Pradesh. So it is area is again large as compared to others. Manipur, very small area. Meghalaya, again very small area. Nagaland, again very small area. And if it would have been here, you would have heard somewhere, because there are so many, like only a few protected areas in Meghalaya, protected areas in Nagaland, and very few protected areas in Manipur. Right? That's why if you want to take a chance, if you are not aware about it, and if you have to attempt it, you should go for Arunachal Pradesh, because it is area is more. There are so many protected areas. Chances that the answer of Pokui will be Arunachal Pradesh is more. Right? So you can take it in calculated risk. Right? And you can go for Arunachal Pradesh. Next, which of the following led to introduction of English education in India? In such kind of question, we have discussed like which of the following will have bearing, which of the following will have relation, correlation, relevance, right? So such kind of questions you should be more broader and inclusive if you are not 100% sure. So Charter Act of 1813, we know that 1 lakh rupees this fund was given for the education. Then talk to second, General Committee of Public Instruction 1823, we are not aware. Orientalist Anglicist controversy, 100% sure it was with respect to language itself, education and medium of education. So 1 and 3 has to be there. So you are left with option C or D. And if you are not 100% sure about General Committee of Public Instruction 1823, then you should go for option D, because it is more inclusive. And if you want to go for option C, you should be 100% sure that General Committee of Public Instruction 1823 has nothing to do with the English education, right? So this was with respect to 2018 question paper. Now we have completed first part, that was broader inclusive versus parts option, right? Thank you very much. So you can join our channel UPSC Made Simple, where I will share some PDF, some content material in upcoming videos, right? So for now, thank you very much.